feeling too lazy to get up and even find myself a hat today. So, a little bit different of a background as a result. It's my new, not new, Death Valley poster up there. So, I have been just sitting here plugging away at getting more podcasts done for you guys. Today's Monday. Yesterday, I released episode 7, and today I was editing episode 11. So I'm making good progress. Episode 11 is the food episode. So you know how much I like food. So I pretty much have finished that one. I have to go back and listen to the whole thing all over again and make sure that I didn't screw anything up, and make my show notes and stuff. So, I don't know if you're curious, but I'll tell you a little bit about how podcasting works. So, podcasts, if you've not listened to them yet, are basically like internet radio, although in a lot of cases they're more talking and not music. They can be about anything, and so a lot of the popular ones are about true crime and that kind of thing. So mine is just about my ride and about domestic violence and about whatever else I feel like talking about, really. Kind of like these live videos, but better. And so if you've been enjoying these videos, you will definitely enjoy my podcast. So it's all online, and most places you can listen to are free, and so that's nice. So when I make a podcast, it's a very time-consuming thing. The final episode, each episode, is somewhere between 30 and 45 minutes for my podcast. It depends. Other people's are different lengths, but mine are 30 to 45 minutes. And so that takes me about an hour to record. And then another, how long have I been sitting here? Probably about double that for the initial edit. And then another hour for the final edit, and then another 30 to 60 minutes to get it all uploaded and ready for it to be released, and then tell you guys about it eventually. So what is that up to? Hour to record, 2 hours to edit, another hour to edit, another hour to... So 5 hours-ish, about 5 hours for a 30 to 45 minute episode. And so that is a lot of work. Oh my gosh, I never really counted up before. So that's a lot of time per episode. And I speak it, and then I go back and listen to myself twice, and then it's ready to upload. And so I take out all my ums and all the really long awkward pauses that you're very familiar with now as I'm talking. So yeah, like that. I would cut out the so it's kind of painful to, if you ever like recorded yourself and listened to your voice, or maybe you were on a home video or something and listened, like, it's not the most pleasant thing, because nobody sounds like they think they sound like, as we're all aware probably at this point in everyone's life. And I don't mind my voice. Like, I don't think I sound awful most of the time, unless I've been editing for just hours straight, and then I'm like, oh my god, I sound awful. But that's just because I need a break and I'm getting hangry. But normally I don't mind my voice, but going through and snipping out all the ums and tightening up all the pauses and taking out anything that I said that was like a stumble, like I had to restart over because I said something wrong or whatever. It's just, I enjoy editing for the most part, so I'm not really complaining, but it is tedious. It is not not a lot of fun. It's enjoyable enough, but it's not. I like editing videos better. Um, anyway, that's what I've been working on today, episode 11, which will be out next month. Um, so, yeah, that's what I've been up to for the most part, and that's why I'm sitting right here and not at my desk, because I could do this on a more comfortable place. So I am just reclined. And didn't feel like getting up to get my camera set up for this. So there you go. Apologize if it's a little wobbly like that, because it's on my lap. So, what was I going to tell you about today? Finished puzzle. The exciting things in my life: podcasting, puzzles, and books. I finished the puzzle we'd been working on for... This one took about 2 days. It was 1,000 pieces. It was pretty tricky. A little bit more difficult of a puzzle, but I was really into it, and I probably did at least half of the full puzzle, because I probably did 3/4 of it. I was really enjoying this one. It's travel posters. I put a picture on my Facebook page and Instagram. It was all old, like vintage travel posters, and it was just pretty, and each little poster was pretty, and it just really was kind of satisfying for my wanderlust, but also kind of aggravating to it, which is kind of conflicting, but it makes sense to me. So yeah, I've been to quite a few of the places that the travel posters were for, so that was fun. I was like, I've been here, and then they do a different one that I hadn't been to. I'm like, I want to go there. So it was just kind of fun. So anyway, worked on puzzle. Now we're gonna do, I think the next one is gonna be I think we're doing, I'm not sure which one we're doing next. We've got a stack of puzzles to do, but you'll hear about it once we're doing it. So the other thing that I was going to talk to you about was books. So I don't know of the people watching. If any of you are readers. Whoops, what did I just do? Okay, we're good. Still recording. So I'm going to tell you about some of the books I've been reading. Because that's like the other thing I've been spending my time with. I know a lot of people are binge watching stuff and just watching a lot of TV right now while they're at home. I'm not. I don't have a problem with that, but it's not like for the most part, I'd rather pick up a book. So I mostly just read. The only thing I've been watching is Father Brown, BBC mystery, period mystery, and so I watch that while I'm knitting. And so anyway, so the books I've been reading have been very different from each other. So yesterday I read The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. That one. Oops, I forgot to flip my screen today. Sorry, it's backwards. The Alchemist. So I read that on my phone, so that's why it's, I'm not showing you the paper cover. It was originally written in Spanish, and it's not very long. I read fast and I read a lot, so it only took me a day, which is short even for me. So anyway, it's about a boy who doesn't even have a name. I think the point of that was so that it would be relatable to everybody. Like the character didn't need a name because it could be you or something like that. It's kind of one of the reviews I saw called it a parable, which I guess is true, kind of. Like I could see why they called it a parable, but that's it was it's literature. It's not like something you'd pick up at the airport and, pass time with. It's not junk food. It's it was very well written. I enjoyed it. There were a few parts I was like, "Oh, that's getting a little too um oh, what's the word? Like a little too religious for my tastes, but for the most part, it was very enjoyable, very well written, beautiful book, beautiful story, really lovely lessons for your life in there. A few reviews I saw called it like a self help book. I wouldn't call it a self help book, but it does have a lot of like life lessons, like a parable would. So, beautiful story and a pretty quick read. It's not very many pages. So, I would recommend that one. I enjoyed it. The Alchemist. And let's see, the other one that I just finished the day before that was the third in a trilogy called The Book of Life by Deborah Harkness. So this was from the All Souls trilogy, and this was junk food. This was total just pleasure junk food reading. It had like no literary merit. It was um it was like, any sort of, I don't know, name your favorite bestseller author that just writes page turners that you just read them for total pure enjoyment and to pass the time. It was that kind of book. And so, just fun. Like, it's a fantasy. So the main character is a witch, and her the other main character, her love interest, is a vampire. And so, but she's in her 30s, so it's like if you, I don't know, it's kind of like, I didn't really like Twilight that much, but I feel like if Twilight had an older character, like not a teenager, it would be like this book. So the characters are a little more mature, um, and the contents more or less like the same sort of drama, but less teen angst. And so I don't really go for the angsty books. I like YA, but I don't like YA angst. And so um, this didn't have so much angst. It was just more of the witch vampire love story, and the there was a lot of there was some time travel involved. No spoilers. It's, you know, you're not going to be like, "Oh my gosh, why did you tell me there's time travel?" No. Okay, so there's time travel, there's vampires and witches, and there's like, they're not supposed to be in love, so they're defying all the societies, whatever, and keeping it secret from the humans at the same time, and all this kind of stuff. Um, a lot of fun historical stuff from the time travel. Um, the parts of it that I really just couldn't stand was any time that there was a horse in the scene, because the author clearly didn't know much about horses. Maybe a little bit, like she knew enough about horses to write the riding scenes, but not enough about horses to actually, like, all the things that bugged me were things that are total beginner mistakes for horses. And so but the character wasn't supposed to be a beginner rider. The character was supposed to be like this been riding all her life and knew everything about horses character. And the vampire that she'd ride horses with, he'd been riding horses for like 1,000 years. So he knew, of course, all about horses. And yet, the things that they said about the horses, I was like, no, that's just wrong. Like, stop. Um, so that was kind of annoying, but I get that a lot in books that are not horse books, and then they start talking about horses. Like I was telling you guys last week or whenever it was about the bookwoman of Troublesome Creek, which the whole book is about a horseback librarian in Kentucky. And the horse parts of it, a lot of them, not the whole book, but a lot of parts in it, I was like, no, that's not how this works. Like, that's not, no. Go talk to a horse person before you write this. So, my little pet peeves. But otherwise, it was really a fun junk food book. The All Souls trilogy by Deborah Harkness was just pure literary junk food, and it was just like what I needed. I just needed some junk food. That's just how it is. So anyway, I have now finished those. Oh, I've been working on this book I mentioned a while ago. Again, apologize, these are backwards. Lucille, The Life of Lucille Ball by Kathleen Brady. Not real sure about this book. I'm gonna maybe give it another chapter or two before I give up. Biographies don't have to be dry, and this is dry. And so it's not really like pleasure reading, and I'm only reading it for fun anyway, so And so far, there hasn't been much interesting. It's more like a scholarly book about Lucille Ball, about, all the details. Yes, thank you, Joy. um, so it's just dry, and nothing really as interesting has happened yet, and I'm up to when she's 19, I think, at this point. And no, I take it back. There have been some interesting things that have happened to her, but it was written so dry that it was like, okay, whatever, and you just keep reading and it's not really gripping. So I'll give it a little more. The interesting thing I learned about Lucille Ball is that, at least according to this author, Lucy was not a natural redhead. She was brunette. And that was kind of shocking. I did not know that. Also, that she had a lot of problems getting over stage fright when she was a new actress. She was a very outgoing, loud personality around people she knew, but as soon as she got up on the stage, she would just freeze up and not say anything. And so that was interesting. But, that's like 2 tidbits, and I'm like 100 pages into it, and that was not worth my time to read that many pages. But anyway, I'll give it a little more, but I'm probably going to give up on that one. Yeah, so I think I finished redecorating my room also, and I will give you guys a tour probably tomorrow or the next day. I finished it yesterday, but I'm not really sure that I'm done. I gotta look at it for a few days and see if I want to shift anything. And then I will show you around what I have done. I love my hat wall. I adore it. And so I'm very happy with how it looks right now, but I will give you guys a tour in a couple days. So, um, tomorrow, yeah, it won't be tomorrow because tomorrow's my shopping day. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so tomorrow I'm going to the grocery store and at least one other stop while I'm out. So it'll be exciting. And I hope that they have paper products this week, although I'm not hopeful because that basically never happens. Um, so I will tell you all about the exciting uh, adventures at the grocery store and whatnot in tomorrow when I come back tomorrow. So that's all for now. Um, so I guess I will log off for now, and I'll be back tomorrow at 4. Hopefully I'm home by then. It might be another car video. We'll see. Uh, so yeah. So I'll be back tomorrow at 4. That's 5 Mountain, 6 Central, 7 Eastern. And so I will probably have a lot to tell you after my exciting day in the big outdoors world. So talk to you tomorrow. Bye.